Welcome to episode 34 of Behind the Shield. Today we are joined by women's track and field thrower Olivia Roth. Hello again, everybody. Scott Guys joining you for another episode of Behind the Shield. Today we're going to talk to Olivia about track and field, about coming to school as a Spartan golfer, and also her role as president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, which is a big deal here on campus. So after this commercial break, Olivia Roth.
You've probably heard a lot about changes on campus, about how classes will look a little different, or how the dining hall will be set up like it was last year. You may have heard we'll be living with a new normal. But the truth is, at York College of Pennsylvania, normal has never been our thing. If by normal you mean predictable, usual, commonplace, average, that's not us. Our normal is extraordinary, exceptional, remarkable. Our normal is about taking responsibility, thinking of others, and treating people with respect. Here, normal means being compassionate. It means protecting the person next to us to ensure safety and good health for all of us, because we know we're in this together. For us, wearing masks and social distancing aren't really a new normal. They're just another example of what's always been important to us. Joining efforts to find real solutions to achieve our goals, to help our community thrive, and to show that we care. That's not a new normal. That's our normal, and we are grateful that you're part of it. Welcome home, Spartans.
Welcome back to episode 34 Behind the Shield. We are joined today by Olivia Roth. Olivia, thank you very much for joining us. How are you doing?
I am doing so great. Thanks for asking.
Good. Well, let's get started. You know, you've been back about 2 weeks now. How's it going? What's it like being back? Is it, we said prior to starting the interview, you basically saw two people all summer. So probably a big adjustment for you right now.
Yeah, no, it was weird to go from being so super careful to being put on a college campus. But I know myself and all of my roommates, we are doing everything we can to stay as safe as possible. I mean, I don't sit down at a desk unless I'm spraying and wiping it down. Like, I have a big thing of hand sanitizer at the door. We're just trying to do everything we can. One thing I will say, though, is I do like the new gym setup. I like being spaced out, and I like being able to see who's going to be there before I go.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to be able to have, you realize how big our fitness center actually is. It's a huge space. And then, having the cardio equipment down in the fitness center or down in the field house is certainly, you got a lot of space. There's no doubt about that. So let's talk about S.A.A.C. You're the S.A.A.C president. You've been involved with S.A.A.C the last 2 years. Is that correct?
I joined my sophomore year. So this is my third year.
Third year. You are the president now. Talk a little bit about what that entails. And feel free to talk a little bit about S.A.A.C. That's something we haven't really touched on a whole lot. And let people kind of know what you do and what is your role as president.
So David Boslow brought me in sophomore year. It was very casual. He was like, hey, do you want to join this? And I said, yeah, sure. And then shortly after that, he was like, well, how do you feel about being president? And I said, yeah, that'd be great. So when I joined, S.A.A.C was probably like, I want to say 30, 40 people big. Like, it was a large program, and not to bash it, but most people were just kind of there to put on their resume and just kind of say that they were in it. But in the years that I've been involved with it, we have cut it down now to, I think, 16 people. We have one representative per sport, and we really do our best to represent everyone and like the student athletes' needs on campus. So our goal is just to make the student athlete experience better in any way we can. We also, we do marketing. Like last year, we had that one Hawaiian basketball game. We did that. Pretty proud of that. But we also do community service. That's actually the subcommittee that I am most in charge of. We did have, not a partnership. We were working with the food bank last semester. Every week, we were going to have our sports teams come in and make a couple hundred peanut butter and jellies and then give it to the food bank on that Friday. But obviously that didn't happen because of Corona, but we are looking at other ways to help support the food bank and the community and just our student athletes.
Does it make you feel good to know that you are on a campus with the number of athletes who are willing to be a part of the community, who are willing to help out and be part of something bigger than themselves?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's even more awesome because we don't get any special scholarship money for being a part of this. We're doing it because we want to. Like, we do the canned food drive every year. In the past, we did the polar bear plunge. We're doing this because we, as like Spartan student athletes, actually care about the community. And I think that's awesome.
Do you feel like you don't have to pull teeth to get stuff done now? Like I think back in the day, it used to be like you have to really cajole people into doing it, but it seems like the culture is now becoming that we take care of others and we take care of ourselves and we do it as a group. Do you feel that that's a pretty accurate assessment?
I think it's for sure going more in that direction. I know when I first joined even S.A.A.C, it was like we didn't really do anything. But now everyone works together a lot better. And I think it's really cool that each representative from each team like goes back to their team and then talks with them and gets them to help and like collaborate. So it's just this really cool collaborative effort it's not like I'm over here shouting directions at everyone. Like everyone's really works together.
You have two guys, Matt Day and Dave Boslow, who are in charge. Talk about how they kind of help lead the direction and help get you guys to go where you guys as a group want to go.
They're awesome. I love those two. So they, myself and Sal, we actually like meet with them on a fairly regular basis. If not, it's just like, you know, a call, or like we met in person last week and we discuss what will be discussed at our big meeting the following week. And they're very, very supportive of all of our concerns. They even said last time, they're like, hey, if you guys need to talk about something that you don't want us there for, just tell us to get out. So they're very understanding. And if we have an idea, they do everything they can to help see it through. Like Matt Day, obviously, he was so great with the Hawaiian night. He texted us. He was like, yeah, no, I got some palm trees back at the house now. Like, we're ready. So they're great.
Do you feel too that it gives you, as two guys who are former Spartans themselves, student athletes, that they are able to give you guys a different perspective too, maybe historical, maybe, hey, this is why we've done this in the past, and being able to talk about changing things for the future?
I think for sure. And don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Boz was in S.A.A.C when he was here.
I believe
so. I think that's really cool. And they get the really cool perspective of actually being student athletes. So they know what it's like here and they've gotten to see the changes and they can see where we should still go. But like, they care about it on a level that I don't think you would care about it that much if you didn't go here.
No, I think that I'm not sure you could have two better people to be in charge of that. And really to help, I think you guys do a great job of leading yourselves, but they're doing a great job of being able to help you out and get you guys going in the right direction. All right, I want to pivot a little bit. So your story, which I think is intriguing, I think it's really interesting. Tell everybody you came as a freshman and you were a student athlete, but it wasn't in track and field. Talk a little bit about how that came to be.
Yeah, so I was recruited to be on the golf team, which looking back, people are always very surprised now when I tell them that. But no, I spent my freshman year on the golf team. I actually didn't even know York College existed until Boslow sent me a letter in my, my senior year homeroom. And I remember looking at my homeroom teacher and I was like, you ever heard of York College? Like, where is that? And then I came, Boz gave me a tour and I was like, yeah, no, I like it here. Sure. I called him later that day. I was like, yeah, just let you know I'm going to come here. And he's like, all right, cool. Yeah.
That literally sounds like the easiest recruiting job ever.
Yeah. I looked at some other schools. I just didn't really, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come to York. They want me to golf. So then I spent a year on the golf team, obviously loved Boslow, loved his assistant coach Eric. But one day in the spring, I saw people throwing and I was like, I'm not the happiest playing golf to compete. I like to recreationally golf. I joke, I'm a retired golfer now.
There you go.
But I saw him throwing and I was like, yeah, no, that's definitely what I would rather be doing competitively. And that day I emailed Lobo, the head coach, and I was like, hey, like, how do you join the team? And then he told Basel before I was ready to tell Basel, but we worked that out. Everything was fine. But so yeah, within 24 hours, I joined the track team.
I'm not sure that you could probably get any two more kind of laid back coaches. I mean, they're both very chill and very, very good at what they do. You've had a really good, your career in track and field's been really good. What are some of the things that you enjoy most about being with your crew? And I know the throwers, it seems like you guys are a really, really tight group. We've talked to Sid before. Obviously, the two of you have been outstanding. What makes it special about being part of the track and field program?
I think the track and field program overall is just cool. Like, it's awesome that we have such a huge team. Like, there's so many of us. You can't even go to like a class without being someone from the track team on it. So it's this really awesome community. But being a thrower has always been so special to me. I mean, I've been a thrower since 7th grade. So it's really cool when, like, obviously a lot of people on the track team, like my roommate Abby Sykes, right? She's a distance runner, gorgeous human. But it's cool that, like, she can be this very, like, maybe petite woman, right? But then you look at the throwers and we're all just large in a good way.
Yeah.
It's cool to have this community of people who are big on a track team where they're running for like 10 miles at a time. It's so cool that, I don't know, we just have an awesome community of people that are large.
And it feels like the culture is just so inclusive. Like, it's very much like everybody, you all kind of have your own little specialty, but when you come together collectively, it's this really cool thing it's very unique. I mean, let's face it, track and field and throw, it's just different than some other sports. And you got to experience 2 varsity teams here. And I just, it kind of goes into why you enjoy doing what you're doing. What is it about throwing that just makes you happy and makes you enjoy competing?
There's just something about throwing a shot put like really far that just makes you happy. I mean, there's a couple of us, we get together just to do it for fun. Like, we're not even, I mean, we're practicing, but it's like, hey, do you want to just go throw? And it's cool because no one else wants to do that. It's just this really select community where we're like, hey, we just like to throw these objects as far as we can, but we have a great time doing it. And it really is so supportive. I mean, I've played sports my whole life, but there's not another sport I've been in where your teammates almost even like help coach you, because they can see what you're doing, they can see what you're working on, and they can tell you how to do better. It's just, and even me and Sydney, like, I break a record, she's there to like high five me. She breaks a record, I'm there to high five. It's a very cool, like, back and forth, supportive.
I will say this, one of my favorite pictures, I think it was from last year, it might have been from 2 years ago. You had just broken the record, and she is literally looking at you as happy as anybody could possibly be for another human being. And I just think that encapsulates it. Like, that just captures in one picture what you guys are about. So I think I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool. And it's so much fun.
We don't throw against each other. Like, we throw against ourselves, and we want to see everyone on the team do well.
In that aspect, is it kind of like golf? Because in golf, you're playing yourself, you're playing your own score. Does it kind of translate in that way at all for you?
I think so. Because I'll tell you what, I have never been competitive with golf, though. I just like to do it, and I try to, like, shoot my best for that day. So, I mean, I think I got some of my attitude from that, because it's like I'm competing against myself. I don't care what my opponent scores. I hope that my teammate does well. It's just, you just want to do well.
I will say this. I still have some pictures from your freshman year where you look like you're having a pretty good time on the course. So
I have a good time. I would come back. Like, I still have friends I made from, I hate to say it, but from Christopher Newport that, like, I still talk to.
We won't tell anybody. Nobody, we won't tell anybody about that.
No, but golf's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, golf should be fun. Sports should be fun. I mean, I think sometimes we get lost in this level of competition, but at the end of the day, it should be fun, and it really should be. So we'll wrap up with one last question. what is your favorite part about being a Spartan? And it can be whatever you think. What is the best part about being a York College athlete?
I'm just happy that I got to throw more because originally after high school, I got some recruitment letters for track, but I was like, no, this sport hurts my body too much. Like, I'm done with it. But my love for it just brought me right back in. And I'm so grateful that I can do it in a competitive way. And also, I just really love my teammates. Like, all my friends are throwers. We stick together. I don't know. I wouldn't have made those friends if it wasn't for throwing. And at this time next year, I'm not going to be a thrower anymore. I'm just going to be a teacher. But I'll tell you what, I'm still going to have a lot of those friends. And I think that's the most important part.
Well, it sounds like you're going to be a coach. How about that?
I would love to be a coach, actually.
And you would be a great one. You would be a great one.
Thank you.
Olivia, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate all that you do with your team, with S.A.A.C. It's something that I think as you leave, you're going to leave a legacy of service and many great things at your college. So we want to thank you on behalf of the staff and all that you're doing with this group. And then we can't wait to watch you throw here in a couple months. Hopefully come springtime, we'll be watching you guys throw.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, have a great day. Thank you. I want to thank Olivia for joining us today. Certainly, she's doing a number of great things through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and her leadership in that has been invaluable to our group, and certainly we will miss her when she graduates next year. But we still got another year and a lot of great things to accomplish through that. So it was great to catch up with Olivia. We thank her. Her enthusiasm is unmistakable, and we're glad that she's part of our team. Until next episode, stay safe, stay healthy, and go Spartans.